As of the recording of this video, Scream 7 is coming out in a week. Let's talk predictions and theories.
Are you not entertained?
Okay, we're here with my friend Ryan. Ryan, what do you think is going to happen in Scream 7? I think the biggest talking point has been Stu. He's returning for the first time since the original. Do you think Stu's going to be AI? Do you think Stu's going to be alive? Or is it going to be some kind of flashback? Because I'll tell you right now, I think Stu is actually alive. And we're cutting right to the chase with this video. I think that Stu is alive. But I think they're going to frame it as if he is AI or the voice changer from Scream 3, right? So I think the whole movie, Ghostface is going to be running around killing people. Maybe we get a reveal of a Ghostface. Maybe in the third act, maybe even earlier because, you know, they're always trying to change the formula. But then at the very, very end, I think we're going to get Matthew Lillard revealed as Stu Macher, and I think he's going to be alive. But I think the whole movie, they're going to be trying to lead us down this path that, oh, he is just AI or he was just a flashback. Because that's another thing I think could happen, dude. I think there's a reason we're bringing Roman back. I think there's a reason we're bringing Stu back. You know, I think maybe we're going to have a flashback to Scream 3 or even before the events of Scream 1. Like, what if they wind up, you know, doing some de-aging CG? They de-age Roman, they de-age Stu, and we actually see them talk and plan out the events of Scream 1 because we know that Roman actually inspired Stu to kill and Billy to kill in Scream 1, right? So what if it's a flashback? I don't know. I just think Stu's going to be alive, and I'm interested to hear your thoughts.
Well, that would be really cool if Stu was alive. And with Roman coming back, now that you say a flashback scene, that would be very interesting to see.
Did you have that on your bingo card? Was that one of your predictions?
I didn't have that on my notes, but guess what? I did have a killer getting revealed before the final act.
Wow. I think Kevin Williamson is going to do some things in this movie that we haven't before seen. I mean, we're in the 7th installment, right? And this is the original writer. I know he didn't write this one, but he is directing it. So I feel like he's got enough creative say in this to where he's going to change things up. You know, I'm really interested to see his directing style actually, as opposed to Radio Silence's take on Scream from 5 and 6. But anyway, more to the Stu thing. I really, if I were the one writing the movie, that's the way that I would do it. Okay, and I honestly think that would be the coolest and most unforeseen way. So that's what I'm predicting for Stu. I think the whole movie, we're gonna have a Ghostface running around killing people. I think that we are going to get voices from the past. See, I don't know, because I don't, personally, Ryan, I don't want that, okay? I don't want the AI voice. I don't want AI. Like, I don't want this movie to be all about AI and technology, and then it winds up being, like, the boyfriend and another person, you know what I mean? I think we have so much built into, so much lore to build on, that I think we have to build on it, right? And we have never seen Roman Bridger on screen with Stu Macher. Yet those two have a history, you know what I mean? And for the first time in the franchise, we're getting those two in a movie together. So why don't we do flashbacks? You know? I think we're going to get flashbacks. And this is a little bit of wishful thinking, but this is also my prediction for Scream 7. I'm thinking we're going to get a flashback. Roman and Stu maybe, plotting the events of Scream 1, right? And we also have the return of Dewey, which brings me into my next prediction. I know we're getting Dewey. So how are we getting Dewey? I think that Dewey also, to piggyback off my last thought, is a flashback. I think we gotta do it as a flashback, dude. I just think it cheapens it if we have an AI voice changer and it's, the Ghostface caller is calling as Dewey. That could be really cool. And maybe we can do that, but why can't we have our cake and eat it too, right? So maybe the Ghostface calls and then Dewey is talking to Gale. That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
Be awesome. But then maybe that triggers a flashback. So now Gale is having a flashback when Dewey was alive. And it's events between 4 and 5, possibly. Or maybe it's events from 5 when Dewey was alive just before he got murdered. That's my prediction for Dewey. And my hope. What do
You
you
want to
think?
know what I think
Yeah.
for Dewey?
Yeah, what do you think?
I think they're going to mirror Randy from Scream 3 with Dewey like sending a video type message just in case he was to die.
So you think he has already recorded a video during
Yeah.
maybe the events of Scream 5?
Yeah.
So that's interesting. I didn't think about... I don't know. I don't know if Dewey's the type to record a video like that. Maybe he is. Maybe he is. And that would be an homage to Randy. I do like that because the Scream franchise is all about homages. So you think Dewey's going to be not alive? Not alive.
Yeah,
He is
I don't think he'll be alive.
recording. Okay.
Yeah.
And my prediction is he is alive by way of flashback.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, by way of flashback. And I do think that the Ghostface killer can use Dewey's voice. Now, that brings me to my next point. Ryan, what do you think is up with all these characters returning? Do you think that it is AI voice changer? Or do you think it's flashback like I've been hinting at with my predictions so far? Because I don't know what to think. I really don't. I really don't.
You can say flashback, but I'll say AI. I'm just going to go with AI.
See, I'm going to say AI, but I'm also going to say flashback. Because maybe the voice of these dead characters will spark some sort of a flashback from our characters.
Okay, yeah.
So,
I mean, that would make sense.
right. I'm hoping, and not to mention, who's in the asylum? What is this whole asylum about?
Has to be Stu, right?
But then wouldn't that mean that Stu is alive?
True. It would. I don't know.
Because who's
It
in the
can
asylum?
literally be anyone.
I heard a lot of people saying that maybe Roman is in the asylum. I've heard that on the internet, but then that means that he would have to survive Scream 3, and then where has he been since, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know why the people have been saying that it's been Roman, because it could very well be Stu in the asylum. Ooh, dude, this is just coming to me on the top of my head, and I tried not to write too many predictions and things beforehand and too many notes, because I wanted ideas and predictions to spark from our conversation. So here's what's right off the top of my head, something that just popped into my head. What if it is revealed in the third act that there is killers, Let's just say that there's like 4 of them, right? And they're all, Tatum's friends or something, right? So there's like 4 killers revealed. Boom, 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 boom. Us, the audience, is gonna be like, oh my god, it's there's 4 killers, blah blah blah. Maybe it's Cult of Ghostface. We're finally getting the Cult of Ghostface. And then, the stuff happens with our main characters where we kind of close the movie out and it's a happy ending, blah blah blah. And then, right at the very end, that insane asylum that we've been visiting or whatever, Stu is there. And he's the one behind the Cult of Ghostface. He's like pulling the strings. He's the leader of it. And he's been orchestrating all of the kills.
Leading into Scream 8?
Leading into Scream 8. And he's finally the
Yeah.
Ghostface that gets away.
That would be... I would love to see that.
Maybe, because I know that there's shots in the trailer where they go to the insane asylum. So I'm trying to make this all make sense and almost fantasy book it in my head to where we finally get the reveal that kind of steps on the whole thing that Stu is alive, though, doesn't it? Because, like, I'm thinking, like, to make it make sense of why we go to the asylum earlier in the film, it's like
Yeah.
maybe, you know, Sydney or Gail goes to the asylum and interviews Stu, and it's like the first time they've been face to face since the original, and it's like, what
Yeah.
do you know about these killers? There's been, you know, what would it be? One, two, three, four, five. There's been five Ghostface killers since 2011, or something, you know. So, what do you know about these killers, Stu? Like, we know that you weren't involved with the events of Scream 2 that took place at the university, and we know that Roman Bridger is who, got you to kill in Scream 1. But what do you know about these previous Ghostface killings? And then he just, says, I don't know anything. He plays dumb, right? But then at the end, it is revealed, maybe he even plays like, maybe he plays really crazy, right? Or really out of it, that TV fell on his head, crushed his, maybe it crushed his motor functions. Maybe he's like, borderline paralyzed in a chair or
Yeah.
something, or he's like brain dead, kind of like he's like a vegetable just sitting in a chair in the asylum, right? So when they go to interview him, it's like, they don't get anywhere with it.
Yeah.
And then at the end he like steps up like Willy Wonka, and how he walks out with the cane, and then he does that forward roll, hops to his feet, boom. Stu is not only the leader of the cult of Ghostface, but he's not paralyzed, he's not brain dead, he is the brains behind everything now. Whereas, and it would be a complete juxtaposition from the first one, where he was just the heavy. He was just the guy who was brought in because Billy needed somebody. You know what I mean? And now,
Yeah.
all these years later, he's the mastermind. Maybe.
That would to like set him up as a actual villain instead of a lackey. That would be really good.
The ultimate
That
villain
twist.
of the Scream
Yeah.
franchise,
Ultimate
almost.
villain.
Dude, because you know what I want? I really want the flashback of Dewey being murdered or something, but I want seconds before, right? And I want that to be revealed as Stu. Stu
Yeah.
is the one who killed Dewey.
Because I don't buy Amber doing it.
Right. Right, dude.
Don't buy it.
So what if it was Stu that killed Dewey? That's how we get our Dewey flashback. That's how we get a Stu flashback, and then it's like, Stu has been working behind the scenes, helping these killers all along, and then he returns to the asylum at night, maybe? I don't know how they work the asylum into it. I'm struggling with that bit of it all, but we're just spitballing here off the top of our heads, predictions and things.
I have some Ghostface predictions.
Okay.
And it's funny you say 4 because I also had 4 in mind.
4 killers?
Yeah.
Okay. Who do you think they're going to be?
I think it's going to be Jessica, Lucas, Ben, and Marco, which is Ethan Embry.
Oh, shit. Okay, I'm referring to the cast right here. You know what? I kind of have to agree with that. I almost feel like it's going to be all, like, Tatum's whole friend group, right? And I
Yeah.
almost feel like we're going to see them get picked off one by one throughout the runtime of the movie. And then at the end, they were all fake killings. You know what I mean? They were all just
Yeah.
fake kills, staged kills. And then they're all going to be this cult of Ghostface. That's just what I'm seeing.
Yeah.
That's just what
That's
I'm seeing.
what I think also.
As we start to wind down here, I want to go through a lightning round. I'm going to spout off some names from the cast, and I want you to tell me if they live or if they die, okay?
Okay.
Okay. Sydney Prescott.
Survives.
I think she survives as well. I don't think you could kill her off this far into the franchise. It'd be a slap in
Yeah.
the fans' faces, and yeah. Tatum.
She survives.
Gail.
That's an interesting one because this could be where she bites the dust. But in my notes, I say she survives, so I'll predict she survives.
I think Tatum survives to piggyback off the last one because I think we're building a new franchise or a new era of
Yeah,
Scream. I think we're going to start that with Tatum. So I have her as living. Gail, that like you said, that's the tricky one because it's like if I had a gun to my head, I would say Gail survives. I don't know, man. It's just my gut instinct. I feel like she's gonna
yeah.
live. I just feel they don't want to piss anybody off more than they already did with getting rid of.
Dewey.
Well, no, yeah, getting rid of Dewey, but also getting rid of the Carpenter sisters.
Oh, true, true.
So,
Yeah,
they kind of can't afford any more backlash with the fan
yeah.
base. You know what I mean? They just need to make a really solid movie. Okay, Mark Evans.
I think he dies.
Mark Evans dies.
Yeah,
I'm going to have he lives
Okay.
because they killed him in the trailer. That's too obvious, you know? Like,
Yeah,
you
true.
can't do that. Chad.
He's kind of like the new Dewey in a sense, where he like survives the attacks and then gets wheeled out at the end.
Right.
So I feel like that will happen again, maybe.
And he lives.
Yeah,
I think Chad lives. Mindy.
she dies.
She dies. Me too. I think she dies. If we're talking about mirroring Randy, I think Mindy bites the dust in this one. I think that's what happens.
Yeah.
Hannah, which is McKenna Grace's character.
She dies.
Dies 'cause
I
she's a
believe she
Ghostface?
dies.
Yeah. Lucas.
He dies.
Robbie Rivers.
That's a tricky one because in my notes, here's what I think will happen with Robbie Rivers. I think because they're saying he's Gail's rival in The Office, I think he's going to survive and then kind of be like the new lover to Gail
Okay.
towards the end of the movie.
Okay. Anna Camp, Jessica. And we got to start going lightning because I said this was going to be a lightning round.
She dies. She dies.
She
Sorry.
dies. I think so too. Ben Brown.
Dies.
I think yeah, these guys are the cannon fodder, the kill count, if you were, to round out the body count of the movie. Chloe Parker
Dies.
dies, right? She's just there to die. All right, man. We had some good predictions. I think we were looking forward to this movie. I think we might hit the nail on the head with. I'm interested to see what happens once we talk about this in the spoiler talk.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We'll be back soon.
we'll
so.
be back, dude. We will be back.
Yeah, sure. I'll be right back.
Okay, thanks Ryan for joining me. All right, that's gonna do it. Scream 7 comes out in a week. That leaves one thing left to say. Are you not entertained?